Hey guys, Level Cap here. Today I'm excited to show you a lot of hero gameplay that I captured from Star Wars Battlefront and talk about the hero powers, how to play them, who's better, Luke or Darth Vader. Now obviously there's going to be a lot more heroes when the actual game launches. Looks like we're getting Boba Fett. I've heard rumors of Han Solo, which would not surprise me at all, and I imagine that there's going to be many more. Now the basic mechanics of the heroes are fairly straightforward. You pick them up just like you would any other battle pickup, you activate them, and then you spawn into Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker. And basically at the bottom of the screen you have a yellow bar that indicates both your time and health. It ticks down 1 per second, so basically when you start off you have about 90 seconds to play the class, but as you take damage it reduces the time that you have to play the class. So basically if you're at the end of your time limit you also have very little health, so you can die pretty easily. However, you can increase this number by killing people, and as far as I can tell it seems like every 100 points is worth about 1 second. So when you kill somebody and you get 150 points, adds about 1.5 seconds onto your time limit with this hero class, which means that if you get into a massive brawl and kill a bunch of guys, then you can add quite a few seconds back onto your overall time limit. And I guess that also counts as your health in a way too. Now things that you're going to want to avoid as a hero are ATSTs. If you're playing Luke, you can however damage ATSTs, and I'll show you how to do that later. But you want to avoid the AT-ATs, you want to avoid anti-infantry turrets, you want to avoid rocket launchers and grenades. Those things you cannot block with the hero and they will do massive damage to you. You can however block all small arms fire by right-clicking and pointing in the direction that you're receiving fire. However, you cannot right-click and run and jump at the same time. Basically, when you right-click you have to go into a slow walking animation. So it's a good way to block incoming fire, but not really advance on your enemy because you're so slow. However, when you block that fire, you can redirect it back at your opponents for a kill, which is honestly a really cool way to get kills. Left click is your basic attack, which will kill infantry in one swipe. It's very useful. And then you have 3 powers as your hero. Luke has the Force Push, which can actually kill multiple enemies at a time as long as they're in your cone of fire. Then his second ability is a powerful attack, which can kill infantry, but it's actually designed more for fighting the other hero classes, and you can clash with Darth Vader. If you both activate your power attack and then hit lightsabers, you will go into a clash mode, and I'll show you a clip of that in a second. And then his third ability is basically a dart forward and a swipe, which I think is one of his best abilities, because you don't necessarily only have to use it in combat. You can use it to move around the map very quickly. Luke is very fast. He's much faster than Vader, and I think it suits him well for Hoth, since there's a lot of big open places you need to traverse them quickly, and he's just better at that. Both Darth and Luke are very fast when they jump through the air. It also makes them incredibly hard targets to hit, especially considering that blaster rifles have a slow travel time, so it's going to be hard to hit your character if you're jumping around Hoth. Darth also moves incredibly fast while he's jumping, so you may as well just use that as his primary mode of travel unless you're trying to sneak around some Hoth trenches. As you can see here, it's a little tricky to take out anti-infantry turrets. I think they should probably be upgraded so that the heroes can swipe some of the gadgets or the placeable turrets with just one single swipe. It would allow you to spend more of your time killing infantry rather than infantry gadgets. Now these heroes shine the most, I think, when they're indoors and in close claustrophobic areas where you only have to worry about one direction of attack. Then you can block a lot of the blaster fire coming your direction. However, when you're out on the plains of Hoth and you can be shot from many different directions, that's when you're going to take the most damage, and normal blaster fire can take you down pretty quickly if you're not facing it or if you're just sprinting around trying to kill people. So they work the best when in confined enclosed areas. And of course I say that just as Luke is running across these snowy plains just absolutely wrecking some snowtroopers, but since he has a lot faster movement he can make it work a little bit better. You just have to be careful when you run into close quarter enemies that are ready for you and shooting you from different directions. Now Darth's hero powers are pretty darn cool. His first one is Force Choke, where he just levitates somebody off the ground and then they just float there and eventually die from asphyxiation. Now at first I thought you had to stand there and hold them up in the air, but as soon as you activate it on a target you can either run away from it or you can run up to him and just kill him even faster with your lightsaber if you want to. It's pretty much done for once the Force grip is on them. Now his third move is a lightsaber throw, which is cool because it gives you a ranged attack option. It throws pretty fast and it kills instantaneously on any infantry that you hit. It does, however, leave you vulnerable while you throw your lightsaber because you can't block any incoming fire. Now how about the hero duels? Well, if you meet on the battlefield either as Luke or Vader, and you do your powerful attack on the enemy while they do their powerful attack on you, your lightsabers will clash and you'll go into a duel, which I believe is just decided on whoever clicks the fastest, whoever can attack the fastest. And you'll see me go into a duel here against Sacriel, and then of course there's a little bit of an animation bug. The game is still in beta, but it says press fire to win the fight. And if you click fast enough, you'll win the duel and stun your enemy. But of course you have to factor in all the outside forces that can kill you as well. Now what about your other hero powers? How do they affect the enemy heroes? Well, in this really funny duel here where I'm sneaking up on Darth Vader and he has no idea that I'm actually behind him or attacking him, not really sure how that's possible, you'll actually see that I force push him here and it stuns him and actually hurts him. So you can use all your other powers against the enemy heroes and it will do considerable damage. Now how about Luke versus an AT-ST? Well, your lightsaber can actually do a lot of damage to the AT-ST. I managed to jump on top of it and start swiping it like crazy on the way down. I just kind of screw up and stand below it and the AT-ST inadvertently steps on me, which is unfortunately an instant kill. That being said, it seems like it's certainly possible to kill an AT-ST with your lightsaber, which is probably going to be one of the cooler takedowns in the game. Now in the beginning of the round, I found if you go on the left side if you're playing the Rebels or the right side if you're playing the Imperials, there's a pretty high chance of there being a hero token over here. It's not in the same spot every time, but it's somewhere around this blaster turret and uplink station. Frankly, you should be heading to this uplink station anyway because it's probably one of the most important points to control at the beginning of the round. Also, if you have a personal shield, you'll want to make sure to activate that when you get the hero token, because if the enemy players are about, they're going to take you out while you're trying to activate Luke or Darth. Now what about fighting against the enemy heroes? I think I had already killed 3 or 4 heroes before I even got a hero pickup for the first time, so certainly you're going to want to know techniques to kill them rather than playing as them, because you're going to see them way more frequently than you actually play them. Having an armored vehicle like an AT-AT, AT-ST, or even a turret can be a good way to fight heroes. They can't block the heavier blaster rounds from vehicles, so that's a good way to make sure that you're inflicting damage. Also, if you're just an infantryman, your standard blaster rifle will do considerable damage to the enemy heroes, provided that they're not actively blocking your fire. Now if they are actively blocking your fire, you can always stop for half a second, but as soon as they have to move or use one of their abilities, then it's going to be hard for them to actually defend against your blaster rifle. So strengthen numbers when you're playing the infantry, but just make sure your numbers aren't all in the same location. Also, jetpack is an excellent tool for escaping the heroes and just trying to get out of their kill path. You can, in a way, move just as fast, if not almost just as fast as the heroes, so keep your distance maximized whenever possible and make them chase you around. The longer they chase you, the more time they waste trying to kill other people, and it makes them an easier shot for your teammates. Now of course these are just tips for staying alive, but it's not a sure way to survive a hero attack by any means. Also, heroes become infinitely more effective when working with your teammates. They're often blaster magnets, so if you're playing a soldier, you can basically just shoot the other soldiers while they're focusing on the hero. And the hero, in a way, is still being very effective just by absorbing a lot of fire. There's been plenty of situations where I was playing the hero thinking that if I just had a few squad mates to back me up, we could have changed the tide. So don't just let your hero run off on their own. If you see them charging forward, charge with them and you will make the most of that situation. Now when it comes to Luke versus Vader, I think Vader is considerably cooler looking. His abilities are cooler looking as well, but Luke is a bit more effective. He's just fast, he's nimble, he has a lot of powers that allow him to just zip around and kill tons of people, where Vader's a little bit more slow and methodical, which is cool, but not as effective. Anyway, that pretty much wraps it up for this Star Wars Battlefront Hero Guide. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more Star Wars Battlefront coverage, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap, signing out.